Alright, welcome back everybody to the next reaction video. Today I'm taking a look at Munster Goofs and Fun Facts by TVcrazyman. And I do apologize for being kind of absent lately. It's been due to personal reasons, but I am alive and well, just in case any of you were wondering. But without dragging this out any further, let's get to it.
Are you ready for some cool Munsters, Goofs?
Oh, and by the way, I am a big Munsters fan. I adore the show. I have seen The Munsters' Revenge, the reunion film, but I've only seen a very short bit of Munster Go Home. But hopefully one day I will see the film in its entirety, which I would love to.
Let's see what kind of weird stuff we can find that doesn't fit. Costume issues, screwed up lines, and a hand that comes out of nowhere.
Oh, by the way,
I think fit. Costume issues, screwed up lines.
Yep, that's Herman's body double right there.
And a hand that comes out of nowhere, because the hand belongs in the Addams family, not the Munsters. Some of these goofs, bloopers, or anomalies, whatever you want to call them, are clearly mistakes. Others make you pause to question what's going on. Some are honestly invisible with old TV screens that weren't as high def as we have today. But those are all the more interesting as we get to pull back the curtain and see what's going on behind the scenes just a bit. Who knows? Maybe they meant to put some of these mysterious and sometimes spooky goofs in just for the future TV viewer. What if they are actually part of a deeper story that we are missing? Only I, the TVcrazyman, would ask such questions. So deeper story that we are missing.
Operator's license, Herman Munster, black hair color, brown eyes, 7'6", 380, married, yes. I mean, Herman's height in the show seems to be rather inconsistent. At one point it said that he was like 7'3", but then it says that he's 7'6". I feel like canonically he could be about 8 feet tall, like the original Universal Frankenstein's monster is, but that's just my guess. Like, who knows how tall he really is, but considering that Fred Gwynn was like 6'5", and he had to wear boots that added about 4 or 5 inches to his height to make him tower over everybody. It only kind of makes my imagination spin a bit, but all right, let's keep going.
Only I, the TVcrazyman, would ask such questions. So let's get started.
Now, Grandpa, I want you to behave yourself tonight.
In the very first episode of the Munsters, Munster Masquerade, the Munsters go to a masquerade party that appears to be a typical suburban house. Notice the outside light, but the window view in the back of the room where people are dancing shows a nighttime urban landscape as if seen from a high-rise apartment. Well, let me know in the comments, am I mistaken about this? Or is this really a goof?
It's time to get happy.
All right, let me just wait until these stupid ads to get out of my way. Alright, piss off, thank you. Now, personally, I don't exactly think that could be a goof. Maybe the Dailies were living in some kind of, like, home on the hills type of place. Like where Hollywood is, I think. With those houses on top of the edges of cliffs and whatnot. With a nice view towards the city. Maybe that could have been the type of house, but that's my guess there. So, could be a goof for all I know, but that's just what I think.
Not as much a goof as a point of fact. Al Lewis has a prosthetic nose in the second episode of My Fair Munster that disappears in future episodes.
Yep.
Perhaps Grandpa had plastic surgery. Of course, Grandpa could have come up with something in the lab to reshape his nose.
And from what I've heard, they had to drop the nose for, quote, logistical reasons. Although it was really because, since Al Lewis was a coffee drinker, he kept accidentally dipping his nose into the coffee, which would ruin the makeup and the prosthetic appliance. So, from there, they basically decided to just drop the nose there. It was too much of a hassle and whatnot. But yeah, pretty interesting to see that he had a nose extension for My Fair Munster, including the unaired pilot episode. But hey, it's not that much of a deal. Besides, he has a good-looking nose as is, even without that extension.
In that same episode, Herman loses his, top of his head for a second.
Yeah, quite a few instances within the show, his headpiece is seen loose like that.
And it keeps coming back off and on.
That's the funniest thing I ever heard in all of my life.
That's not the last time Herman almost lost his top. It happened again in season 2's Herman's lawsuit, when Herman faints after getting hit by a car, not because he was hurt, though, but because he was afraid of getting sued. See his wig flop back and forth? Here's one for how did they do that file? When Grandpa transforms into a bat, it's not a trap door or anything like that. At least not in this scene. After Grandpa transforms into a bat, you see Al Lewis in the bottom right corner of the frame as he ducks out of sight.
I know that
In
too.
the context of the show, maybe Grandpa was just trying to trick everybody into thinking he went the other way. I'd like to think it goes without saying that I find Goofs and OTV shows not to make fun of them, but because I love these OTV shows. They're classics, and they deserve to be talked about from one end of the spectrum to the other, including finding bloopers and goofers and goofers. Goofs and bloopers? Well, you know what I mean. Well, there's no reason to be that way about it.
Why is everybody around here so sensitive?
In the episode Low-Cal Munster, Paul Lynde guest stars as Herman's doctor, who really needs his glasses. When his nurse comes to bring them to him, the actress flubs her line, probably because of Paul Lynde making a funny face or something. Check this out. Oh, and this actually made it into the episode.
Here are your glasses, doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
Here are your glasses, doctor.
Thank you, nurse. She's pretty but pokey.
Okay, on this scoof from the episode Knockwood, Here Comes Charlie, I wonder if any of you out there have seen this goof before we had the benefit of HD television. So yeah, let me know if you've seen this goof years ago before HD television came out.
It's my head broken.
Look to your left. It's actually kind of spooky.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. The fact you can see crew members, camera crew in the background like that, that's rather creepy. Although there really wasn't anything they could do to hide that.
Now, in the real world, it could be crewmen, but in the context of the show, maybe it's ghosts. There's another ghost in Autumn Crocus. Again, look to your left.
I'm coming, dear. I'm coming.
Right there.
Yeah, I know I said maybe it's a crewman, maybe in the context of the show it's a ghost, but what if it's a real life ghost? We just don't know.
And I think we owe it to our country to keep our sense of humor.
In everybody's favorite episode, Hot Rod Herman, with the first appearance of the Dragula car. When Grandpa drives out the car for the first time, something fishy is going on. What's Grandpa doing to his face? Is this even Grandpa? I suspect it's just a stand-in for Al Lewis, and it looks like he's trying to put his face back on. In the episode Bronco Bustin' Munster, Grandpa sees his reflection in a vending machine mirror at the rodeo. So, on one hand, Count Dracula isn't supposed to have a reflection. But of course, vampires can't stand sunlight either. I read that some people consider this a goof, but I think Grandpa, who's created a million different pills for every kind of sickness or magical need that's come up, has probably by this time conquered the reflection problem and the sunlight issue.
Oh, goody, goody.
In the episode Herman, Coach of the Year, Herman throws a discus and something magical happens. You know, Herman must have scared that discus so bad it turned into a football.
Yeah, must have.
In the episode, Herman picks a winner. Herman tries to make his escape from some dirty crooks, and he may have gotten a hand from Thing, from the Addams hand. Otherwise, where did his hand come from? And what was that about? In the episode A House Divided, when Herman is testing Eddie's present, he seems to become much smaller once he gets going down the road. Regardless, this scene in this episode is hilarious. This scene in particular. It just cracks me up every time I see it.
Hey, Paul.
Well, we talked about a lot of Goofs. How about we talk about what I think is the best scene of all the episodes of the Munsters? Well, it's my favorite anyway. From the episode All-Star Munster.
Yeah, what is it? You're closer to my feet than I am. Would you mind putting out the fire?
It features Pat Boutram, a.k.a. Mr. Haney, and Robert Easton as Moose Mallory.
Okay, son, but don't expect me to do it every time.
I really can't say what it is about the scene that I think is so funny. I guess it's just the fact that Moose is so lazy that he's literally on fire and he won't be bothered to get up and put this.
Yeah, and I also just love their hilarious accents.
It's just the fact that Moose is so lazy that he's literally on fire and he won't be bothered to get up and put his feet out. Perhaps it's the fact that somewhere in my lifetime, I think I've known some people that are that bad off.
Thank you, Paul.
Let's run through some quick, amazing trivia facts that you may not have known.
Oh, goody, goody.
According to the episode Herman's Lawsuit, in this close-up of Herman's license, Herman is 7 foot 6 inches tall and he weighs 380 pounds. Oh yeah, and they misspelled heights, which I'm not going to harp on too much because I misspell things too. I bet you didn't know that Herman Munster is a charter member of the Pat Boone fan club, and that was revealed in the episode Operation Herman.
My boy!
Did you know that the Wolfman is Grandpa's son and Lily's brother? I'm not sure how that works, but definitely a face to be proud of.
And that means one of Grandpa's wives must have been a werewolf, which would explain why Lester looks the way he is, and why Eddie is basically a vampire werewolf hybrid.
TVcrazyman here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already.
Oh, that's the end of it. That was so enjoyable, man. Like, I love the Munsters. I love watching videos like this for the show and whatnot, but yeah, that's going to do it for the reaction, guys. Tell me down below if you love the Munsters, because I love them myself, and let me know what you think down below. And as always, take care, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good day.